Joining me on the program now from Australia, public theologian, Dr Craig Heilmann. Craig, kia ora, how are you?
Kia ora, Andrew. Great to see you, mate.
I mean, it's a bit of a shock, really, that, Father Ted has to be one of the funniest television programs ever made. Graham Linehan got awards for it. He's got a Lifetime Achievement Award because of the brilliant work that he does. Some people don't have a sense of humour.
Who are you if you're putting Father Ted's writer in jail? I mean, what is going on here? This is outrageous. It's crazy, honestly.
What's that all about then, Ted?
Yeah, well, that's right. Where have we got to that you can't just have a laugh in the way that he did that? And as I understand it, the accuser, the person, I mean, doesn't take much to get accused, but as I understand it, the accuser is a former disgraced police officer who's now transgender, something like that. So it's a weird situation. I just cannot believe the extremities. And imagine turning up with 5 police to arrest him at the airport.
Yeah,
I don't even think he's English. He's actually Irish or something.
He is. Yeah. That's fighting talk to say that the Irish are English. Right. That'll get you cancelled in a different kind of way. Having said that, though, we can look at the UK and go, gosh, isn't it terrible what's happened there? I mean, actually, it's probably done Graham Linehan the world of good. He's been on just about every podcast going, and certainly there's been pushback not just in social media, but from politicians and even the police in the UK to this one.
Yeah, I mean, it must be great for his career, but yeah, I mean, surely common sense is going to prevail here. This seems excessive and extreme, and got to be chilling for speech. In fact, I think I read something this past week that 60,000 people surveyed, just about 80% of them said they had thought twice about posting things online just because they thought they could potentially be arrested for it. So it's having a chilling effect on people's ability to speak their mind. I just don't know how we have a democracy. I mean, the whole point of a democracy is to let people speak their mind. Even if some of the ideas are toxic, better ventilated out of the mouth than at the end of a gun. And so, we've all got to stop being so precious. I don't think Christians are the culprits here, by the way, because a lot of nasty things are said about Christians and we just endure it and put up with it and call it part of our faith. But it seems like everybody else in the public square is quite precious these days.
Yeah, everyone else is being persecuted apart from us. Hey, not wanting to joke about that because I know that's a reality for many people in the world. Having said that, though, are we going the way of the Northern Hemisphere with what's happening in Canada with euthanasia, what's happening in the UK with freedom of speech? Could these types of ideological views and laws be coming down under, do you think, Craig?
Oh, no, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly, we take our cues from countries like England and Canada. And no, undoubtedly. And we have a strident left-wing government here that would like nothing better than to silence everybody who has any other opinion than their own.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt. I mean, look at New South Wales right now. The New South Wales government has decided theologically that prayer is essentially not special speech. So if someone wants to pray for someone who might be considering gender issues or transitioning or something, that's now illegal. So the great irony of that law change, I think it just confuses matters in terms of what prayers are allowed and what prayers aren't allowed. But as someone rightly said, isn't prayer about change? Isn't that the whole point of prayer?
Yeah.
About change. And so the New South Wales government's decided to ban prayer, which seems, ban prayer if it's to do with people transitioning. It seems very, very odd. Look, a transgender person, Andrew, could come to you or I and say, you should stop being a Christian and start being something else.
Yeah.
And it would be absolutely protected speech. But if you prayed for that person to stop transitioning and maybe return to the original gender, that would be a crime.
Well, in this situation, because this is just weird, honestly. And I mean, hey, I'm surprised that the New South Wales government has had any theological thoughts, but that's another matter. But on this one, actually, what if somebody says, "Hey, this is an area that I'm struggling with. I'm not sure what to do. I've got different views and opinions in my own head about this. Could you pray with me about this issue?" Are you saying that a pastor would have to say, "No, sorry, I can't do that because I'd be breaking the law"?
Yeah, it's absolutely unclear as usual with laws that are passed. So it's going to get found out by the police in the end. The police are just going to start charging people, I guess.
Yeah.
Originally, they said, well, if you just prayed for someone once, if they are the situation you described, someone asked for prayer, just did that once, that wouldn't be a crime. It would be if you sustainedly prayed for a person to be changed. Well, that's what Christians typically do, right? They sustainedly pray for things to change. That's typically how prayers work, is that you pray them more than once and you keep going till you get your answer, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that would be a crime under those circumstances. My guess is any prayer would now be considered a crime of this kind. I certainly have been asked to pray these prayers as a pastor. I've had people that were struggling with issues of sexuality, and one of the safe places they come is to their pastors and say, would you pray with me about it? That I'm having difficulties in this area of my life. And this includes married people, unmarried people. It's pretty normal.
Yeah.
And so now you've got the chilling effect now on ministers of going, well, I don't know whether I'm allowed to help people or how I could help them. You'd have to be extremely careful now before you would pray a prayer with anyone around any of these sexuality issues, which seems a real shame because we live in a highly confused culture when it comes to sexual issues.
Now, look, some prayers can be confusing, and I'm sure we've all been in prayer meetings where you're thinking, are we talking to God, or are we just talking to each other about stuff that we're concerned about and God's listening?
We're just trying to impress each other, We pull out our stained glass voice and we,
And I love those prayers that go down the tangent of going, well, I've just got to explain this situation to God, where you're actually just talking to the people in the room. And you get that sometimes with prayers.
There's a rule against gossip, and so we don't gossip. What we do is say, look, Lord, here's what happened. And
exactly. Although the thing that worries me, and this is kind of shades of the book of Daniel on this one, what if you're praying at home? What if you're praying in your head? What if you are going, okay, I will continue to pray for you every day on this one? Would this be the type of sustained prayer that the New South Wales government is saying, no, that's illegal, even if you're not praying with the person, if you're just praying for them? I mean, this is...
Well, I think it's a slippery slope, mate, because I think that's where it has to go, because ultimately we're not actually policing your or my conduct. We're policing other people's feelings. So it's how others feel about our conduct. So you could have perhaps a relative who goes, I know he's at home praying for me. That upsets me. I could see that down the track being potentially something you would get, 5 policemen knocking on your door.
Yeah.
Because that's where we're going. We're going with I feel I'm a victim and I feel hurt by, instead of filing a hurt feelings report, you go to the police, And so I think that's the slope we're on. Basically, we're now not just policing actions, we are policing thoughts, words. We are really on the warpath to police everything. What it tells me is our societies are just now incredibly fragile.
Yeah.
You and I keep talking about this. Social cohesion in Australia is falling apart. And that's the only reason you'd need laws like this, is that people are not together. They're not on the same page.
But hey, one thing, if we're going to find a silver lining on this one, Craig, it seems that the New South Wales government recognises the power of prayer. Because if I'm talking to God about a situation that I want changed in, and God doesn't exist and I'm just talking to the ceiling, then there's no harm, no foul in that regard.
But no harm, no foul. Well, that should be the way it is, but the way they've interpreted prayer is sort of quite atheistically, because the Attorney General described prayer as praying to another person. If you are praying to another person for them to change, well, that's not how prayer works. I mean, that shows you the low level or limited theology the New South Wales government is operating with. They haven't yet figured out that prayers go upward. They don't go, horizontal, so to speak. They go vertical.
Yeah, and maybe some Christians haven't figured that out anyway, or perhaps, again, bit of grace here, perhaps they recognise that the Holy Spirit is a person, so that's perhaps too much grace in that regard, Craig.
Now you're going too deep for the New South Wales government, mate.
Hey, this is certainly a concerning issue, and it is something to pray about. If tweets and prayers are being made illegal by people that want to control not just our words but our thoughts and our spiritual life, certainly something to be praying about while we still can. Thanks so much for joining us on the program. Appreciate your comments.
God bless, mate. See you soon.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.